Hello, hello. G-Hive, it's great to hear from you. I appreciate you lurking and saying hi. Um, I'm actually remembering to hit go live on YouTube for once in my life. Uh, is my browser the right size? It's not. There we go. Okay. So the big plan for today was to go through this paper. I've kind of read it once, but I need to read it again. I think I might save this for just a little bit into stream because there is like a small task I need to do for a different class. I kind of want to see if I could just get that done quickly. I don't know if it's going to be quick, but this question from a complex analysis class on Fourier transforms. I have it technically done and latexed up, but there's one piece of it that I realized that I did wrong. And I know what the answer should be, but I need to figure out the work to get there. What does this work? Oh, that was an attempt to do the thing that I'm about to work on here. That didn't work. So I want to figure out what happens when we'll start with t equals positive a. We should be getting 1/2. Take the I out front. So if t equals a, I'm going to make this t into an a. Fenbox, yep, it's math time. I'm starting off with a Fourier transform question before I get into the actual math bio paper that I referenced in the title. I've already solved it, but there's a really pesky thing with the endpoints of this. The question is basically take the Fourier transform of this and then do the inverse. And so, oh, you're right. It is too loud. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot that I adjusted the level and I never adjusted it back. It's a fine line between a denominator and a numerator. Oh my god. That's a new one. I have not heard that one before, GI. I love it. Hey, Snoop Tiger. How's it going? So yeah, the only bit with this question is what happens when you do the inverse transform. Instead of getting 0 right at t equals plus minus a, we should actually be getting 1/2. And I didn't get that 1/2, so I need to figure out where it comes from. So I'm changing that t to be positive a, and then we're gonna have to do the same thing with negative a. So if I multiply it in, that times that is minus 2I lambda a minus that cancels that 1. And so the issue that I'm going to get here is that I don't think this integral converges. Yeah, it is. Let's take a look at the series. Actually, I feel like it should converge. It's a decaying function. Oh, wait, no. It only decays on one side. There's no way this thing could... There's no way an integral with an exponential like this converges. Man, I went to office hours yesterday to ask about this exact thing, but or to ask about like what to do with t equals plus or minus a, but I forgot to say that like the integral that I get doesn't converge. Are gonna fire watching the stream. Hi. Joseph, hey. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope your neurons are ready for this paper once we get to it. If I get stuck or I figure out this Fourier transform question, we're gonna do this. Redeem last. That's funny. Talos actually has a last redeem. If you're the last person to redeem it at the end of a stream, you get VIP. You just can't get away from topology. See, this is actually a different... They're using topology in a different sense. Of the word. It has nothing to do with like mathematical topology. This has to do... Like, this is... It's almost like graph theory or something. They call these like biological circuits. The terminology is really confusing to me, but it's not math topology. Neural development network map. Yeah, I it's supposed to be with how genes in the proteins they produce can activate and inactivate each other. It might be more general than that, though, and also apply to other things. It has something to do with cellular networks in general, I think. And maybe neurons could have something to do with that, too. Streaming is broken. You didn't stop by yesterday. Oh, yep. Yesterday was a pretty crappy day for Daisy, too. It didn't go well. This integral just doesn't converge. It's so annoying. Hey, Central. I don't know if you've seen... I was starting off with a different task before getting into the biology stuff, but this is what I'm planning to do pretty soon today. And it's in a part of biology called systems biology, apparently. And it's talking about how like genes and the proteins they produce can like activate and inactivate each other. And we get these like little diagram things. There's here's like a bunch of them that they tested. Negative feedback loops, incoherent feed forward loops. Gene expression? I think so, yeah. I've only barely been introduced to this, and I'm now trying to understand an academic paper on it, but it's something like that. Like, gene A, like, Actually, no, let me use this one up here as an example. Like this diagram means that gene A activates C, C activates B, B inactivates C. That's what the dot means. And you can kind of like simulate how they interact over time with math. People say they have certain genes. We all have the same genes. We just have different versions of the same gene. Oh, it's like all the same DNA. Interesting. You're the same gene. I'm just a rude person. I got the gun. Oh, it's true. Hey, that means you well, I guess no, you said allele. You know, I like to think that every human has a cunt gene, though. You know, we just all express it in different ways. You're doo-doo. Skirt, skirt. Yeah, you guys are back here again. Hey, Famous, you're over on the YouTube side. Hell yeah. It's going okay. Just trying to figure out this annoying problem with Fourier transforms. And then we're going to get into this math biology paper. Central doo-doo, that's true. You should really rename yourself to Doo-Doo Central instead of JNC Central. Natural selection and it's boring. It sounds like someone is about to get naturally selected. This is annoying. Fourier transform for a step function. I just want to see someone do this calculation for a step function. It's my human biology in the brain modules. Ooh. It's fair. Do I have to, like, I feel like I need to... Damn it, I really... Maybe I need to ask the TA about this, because this is, like, really tricky. Music is loud? Damn it. I think it was just a loud song. I'll turn it down a bit more. Well, no, this is a place where we bully you, Central. You just have to get used to it. I don't want to hear you. There you go. Now, Kith. Hell no. I don't know where your lips have been. Can I take a result from like later? Not really. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's look at this. The Fourier transform with the Heaviside function, a tragedy. I think Shakespeare probably wrote this. This is the type of thing that, like... So this is really similar to the Fourier transform that I got. E to the minus I lambda over... Yeah. Oh wait, why is this from 0 to infinity? Oh yeah, duh. That sounds like your dog does like math. To infinity and beyond. Phobos, hello. How's it going? I was peeking at your stream. I saw you were doing some coding stuff. She's trying to erase the math. She's gonna have to lick a little bit harder. That's what she said. Have I done enough math yet? Unfortunately not. Wellesl's algorithm. That sounds crazy. Why haven't I solved math yet? That's a good question. I don't know. Just don't feel like it, I guess, you know? Okay, you have 5 days. Go ahead. Equation. Actually, why are the equations numbered on the left? Like, who does that? Feel we're gonna so long you don't want to embarrass people. It's very kind of you. You're at Chuck E. Cheese for your nephew's birthday? Figured you'd watch some Dawn videos and I was Oh my god, Chuck E. Cheese is kind of uh, a weird place to be. I'm getting way too lazy to read this right now. Well, okay, this might be relevant. It is weird. Yeah. I was not gonna miss out on the pizza. I don't remember ever trying. Actually, I've definitely had Chuck E. Cheese pizza as a kid, but I feel like at least from what I've heard, Chuck E. Cheese is like the worst pizza you could possibly get. Given ETA, I want to set an alarm once you solve math to celebrate. Maybe Don can use math to solve the Chuck E. Cheese pizza anomaly. I don't know. I don't think that's of this universe. It's actually very good, famished? Okay. It told ChatGPT to solve all math. It said it's too broad, stupid AI. Yeah, that is stupid. Too bread? There's no such thing as too bread. He carb be asked? Oh my god. Should I be... So, is the moral of the story that I should try to cancel some part of this integral? Stupid polysaccharide. There is such a thing as two bread, and it's called rye bread? Hell no. Absolutely not. Okay, so I think if I'm gonna copy that work, I'm gonna do something like this. And because we're in principal value land, I'm gonna say this is 0. And I'm gonna have to add in the principal value stuff when I actually go to LaTeX it. And then this bad boy. That's so sneaky. It seems like splitting them into two integrals. Why has he been a bad boy? Did he not eat all his greens? That's exactly why central. He didn't eat rye bread. Rye bread is good. You have to like have it with the right thing. It's not like I wouldn't eat it just like butter, but like in a sandwich, it's pretty freaking good. So I think on this one, we're gonna do change of variables. We're gonna, ooh. Is that valid? I guess we're taking lambda equal to minus lambda. which makes me a little uncomfortable. The average IQ in this chat is lower than it usually is right now. You don't know why, though? Yeah, no clue. Germany was forced to eat it for dinner. It sucks. That's probably, like, illegal to say in Germany. You're all dick, no brains. Gotta send the blood somewhere. Yeah, they have the worst food. Oh my god, Skirtle. You're also all dick, no brains. So what's my rationale for this? I feel like doing it. That's my rationale. There's a button there somewhere. Oh god. Central just like send pics. Probably. He's gonna ooh-woo really hard. Hey, Stefan. Let's just see if this gets the right answer. I don't know if it's really valid yet. Now design the experiment. Video of Jake twerking. Yeah, I think Central would accept that too. Oh, this is a plus. There we go. I feel like I made an invalid step here because this is just like, how do you take a non-convergent integral and convert it into something that's convergent? But like, there's no way this is right. I'm too lazy to do that. Don Dumb Doo Doo is fire alliteration. Don is so shit at math, guys. He's drawing the number 8 sideways. That's true. Well, yeah, this is convergent, Fizzbuzz. The issue is I started with a what is happening? Sorry, my window's acting weird. The issue is I started with this and I just messed around with it. And like there's no way this integral is convergent. I don't think, because it's minus infinity to infinity. And so I feel like I've made an invalid step like somewhere in here. Don't talk me about convergent. I got me thinking about convergent evolution, dick. Sorry. Convergent evolution? I haven't heard of that. You will you will be divorced within a year? Wow, that's a brutal fortune cookie. Kirk, hello. Hopefully your fortune is better. I must have a prodigious quantity of mind? It takes me as much as a week sometimes to make it up. Mark Twain, The Innocents Abroad. Okay, a Mark Twain quote in a fortune cookie feels like a scam. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be a Western, like, writer. What the hell does prodigious mean? Remarkably or impressively great in extent, size, or degree. Well, there's certainly one thing about me that's prodigious. Oh, it could also be unnatural or abnormal. A prodigious quantity of mind. You have to have a huge brain, is what he's saying. Takes me as much as a week sometimes to make it up. I don't really get what Mark Twain is saying. Oh, I get it. Okay, no, I do get it. He has a huge brain because it takes him so long to make up his mind. It's a joke. Okay. I can wait a year. Get your mind set. Confidence will lead you on. Is confidence being a tease if you're being led on? Is it my nose? Maybe. Got a fucking joke for my fortune cookie. This is a scam. Yeah. These fortunes are really hit and miss. The beginning of wisdom is to desire it. I guess so. Yeah. That's not a bad fortune. Just make it one. Skirtle just desires the doo-doo. Don't worry so loud, your roommate can't think. That's such a terrible fortune. Oh my god. So yeah, I was copying this work here, which is for the Heaviside function, but I figured it was close enough. The Fourier transform for the Heaviside function. Really, Fizzbuzz? Because I was trying to like do some Jordan's lemma or like some type of theorem to it to do that contour integral, and it just wasn't working out. And I think Wolfram Alpha, it couldn't do it at least. E to the I 2I x is close enough for our purposes. -1 over x dx. Yeah, Wolfram Alpha just... Okay, Wolfram Alpha quits on it. I thought I tried something else and it said it got divergent. Should I... Maybe I should think harder about the power series. Because I do see, like, the one in this power series cancel with the one there, and then the lambda cancels, but I don't know. I just don't really know what to do with that. Hey, AS Gaming Bros. You desire monies? Alright, well, let me give Wolfram Alpha this integral and see what it spits out. Because yeah, this comes from I've solved the main part of the question. They want us to get the Fourier transform of this and then invert it. And I did that. The Fourier transform part is pretty quick. The inverse is it's a little bit tricky. I figured it out, except right at the endpoints when t equals plus or minus a, and that's what I'm trying to work on. I know it should be 1/2, but I am trying to figure out how to actually get that. What integral was I giving it? I was giving it this. Sine 2... Sine 2x... 2... what was it? I was going to say 2x over x. You long to see the Great Pyramids in Egypt. Do you? You been in them? Oh yeah? If I put the A in there, I don't think anything... Does anything change? I guess we'll get a... Yeah, thing out front. So we get pi. Oh, that's actually perfect if we get pi. Because there's a over 2 pi out front. No, but then there's a 2 there. I guess they wrote my last math exam ever last week, kind of missed math a little. Well, first off, congrats, AS Gaming Pros, but if you want more math, there's always like YouTube is a great resource for like lectures and stuff. Hey Aditya, you're really scared. Only 73 days left for JE. I'm having anxiety attacks. Oh, I'm sorry, Aditya. The JE seems so insane. I don't like blame you. Good luck with it. I'm sure you've been preparing for a long time, and that you'll do well on it though. I like math because it's almost the same as my favorite type of game progression. Slow progress to a point where if you look from the start, it seems insane and impossible. Yeah, I really like that take, Kirk, because I've thought about math kind of in that way too, where the things that start off as really difficult, like maybe finding the roots of a polynomial, eventually become like second nature to you, and you do that all the time and you can do it like mentally once you do it enough times, depending on the polynomial. 40 out of 300? Oh, I'm sorry, Adia. Oh wow, it's pretty rare that the auto mod holds things up. Central's a mummy? True. Do you want a Fortnite and send comms here in Don's chat? Oh my god. Okay. See ya, Aditya. Good luck to you. Central's mom is a big fan of Tomato Town, I'm sure. With the conversation we were having yesterday when I was playing DayZ, you guys scared off Roke's. He posted in another math streamer's Discord to be careful when going into my stream. I thought it was really funny. Got to be careful opening up the stream sometimes, apparently. No, I mean, I get it, but I was saying something very weird, but sorry, I didn't represent that right. It was a joke. They weren't trying to like tattle or something like that. I am a joke. Yeah. Wait, so this lambda becomes a u over 2a. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Hey, mouse. Mod me so I can put Central in the timeout corner and make him write lines. Mod me so I can ban everyone. Oh god, yeah. I feel like I should mod you both at the same time and then just let the quicker mod win. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the. I don't want to do a contour integral on that. Let's just say that there's a known result. which is known from Wolfram Alpha, pi over 2. Wait, this is bad now. Hey, Naman. I mean, we all make progress at our own pace. I probably would do terrible in JE if I took it, so. Sorry you had to read. Thank you for apologizing. It's always traumatic when I have to read something. Well, this is annoying. I don't want this over 2 here. Because that just messed everything up. Other than that, it's perfect. Write or do lines depends on my mood. Let them alone in stream, let them mod themselves. Do a line of Charlie? I don't know what that means. Maybe I don't want to know what that means. That's true, Skirtle. You did. Multiply by 2 for funsies. I like that idea, Kirk. This is, and I'm working on Fourier transform. There's a lot of integrals happening here, Mouse. Or do you mean like if you have an integral, I can do like 1, but I kind of got to get stuff done today. It's a matter of practice. You have to learn maths differently than JES for mood. I think it's like more deep math. Maybe. You know what? Okay. Entirely new idea. Wait. Oh no, I don't. Never mind. That doesn't work. But let's just look at the series. I need to spank Central with pleasure. Does anyone at my school know I stream? No, I haven't talked about it. I am in my school's, like, the department Discord in my streaming Discord account, so like theoretically someone could see that I'm streaming in my status. I've never like brought it up to anyone though. Yeah, that's fair, Naman. Schools have Discords now? Oh yeah, Skirtle. Ever since they're not necessarily like official, like they're created by students, but ever since like COVID, it became pretty popular to create servers like either for particular classes or for Discords. Hey JC. What's happening right now is I've solved 99% of this problem. The initial problem is to find the Fourier transform of that and then do the inverse transform. No worries. And so done the Fourier transform. I've done the inverse transform everywhere except at t equals plus and minus a. And I know it should result in 1/2 the average of these two, but I'm trying to justify that. And that's what I've been kind of struggling with. Minus infinity to infinity e to the 2i pi I omega x over cosh pi x. I integrated almost that exact thing like last week and it was really annoying. I don't want to do that. Hey, if you're just like challenging me, I'd rather do this. That's enough of a challenge for me. Or do things I'm working on already. You don't go into class wearing a subscribe to Nonce Math shirt. Budget cuts, new name didn't make it. Yeah, I'm wearing outdated merch. You know, I should do that. You're right. I thought I was like pretty good at math. Then reality came crashing down when I uncovered I just studied stuff earlier. Wasn't necessarily better in skill. um. Yeah, that depends how you define better. Is better knowing more stuff, or is better being quicker at learning math? I'll wear you. Okay, so um who is stomping around right now? This is really annoying. What happens to like all these things when you integrate them? Can we make a claim that only some terms of this series survive or something after the integration? Like the odd functions should get wiped out, right? The odd powers. Hey, Colded, I remember you. The sine Fourier series. Um, all right, see you, Central. No, I want you to have a bad night, Central. That, that's a kind of person that I am. So Mouse, like, I the only way I'm doing all these Fourier transforms. I don't actually have any clue how they relate to Fourier series, if I'm being honest. The only way I know how to calculate the actual Fourier series or something like this is to go and look up the formula with integrals to get the constants. I don't really know if that's the way that you're supposed to be doing that. And then this down here is a separate question that Naman posted. Um, I have no clue to do this, Naman. This is way too hard. Like what the hell is this? Why are we mixing notation for combination? Monster equations are the easiest. Maybe for him. I don't know how you do that. So yeah, sorry. I'm going back to work on my stuff, but I that just that I have no clue with that. All right, see you, mouse. So this, I think we can say all the odd powers integrate to 0. The even powers, I don't really know what to do with. Maybe we can write them as cosine or something though. What I mean, okay, we need to, if we want this to be cosine, I think we can't make a cosine. Because the factorials are messed up. Yeah, okay, let's not delete it. Nope, not that, not that, not that. I thought I still had this in my copy paste. Can we get saved by trig identities? What's the one with sine squared and for cosine of 2 something? I think I want that one. 1 minus 2 sine squared. We'll leave this other sign alone. For meow. So the point is these ones go away. And does sine squared integrate to 0? Ooh. Okay, so this may or may not get us what we want, and could we hope that this one gets us 0? Let's make Wolfram Alpha do it. Why are you all... Oh, I know why you're stretchy. Oh, damn it. I have to redo that. One minute. Oh my god, this is not... This is really not important, but I cannot rest until I get this pixel perfect. 1 second. Uh, edit transform. I need the top to be cropped by 2 pixels more than it currently is. No? What? Oh, what? You cannot be doing this to me, OBS. Oh, okay, wait, no. I see. Okay. Yes. What? Okay. You know what? Never mind. I'm not. Uh, that actually worked out perfectly. I don't know how. Okay. It's a Christmas miracle. Let's make it Wolfram. I'll do it instead. Yeah. That doesn't converge, but I didn't fix the bounds. Does not converge. Really? I hate this. The universe is like a safe to which there is a combination, but the combination is locked up in the safe. I guess so, yeah. Why is this so hard? I thought we could just kind of do this quick and then get to the biology paper. So I pull out a chainsaw. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna start reading the biology paper. I'm getting kind of done with doing this stupid like tiny part. Actually, I want to keep that heaviside thing open. My plan for the bulk of today was to read through this paper. I've read it once, but I didn't really understand it. So the field of systems biology is largely focused on mapping and dissecting cellular networks with the goal of understanding how complex biological behaviors arrive, extracting general design principles. The rules that underlie what networks can achieve particular biological functions remains a challenging task given the complexity of cellular networks. A small fraction of existing networks that have been well characterized. Nonetheless, growing evidence suggests the existence of design principles that unify the organization of diverse circuits across all organisms. For example, it has been shown there are recurrent network motifs linked to particular functions, such as temporal expression programs, reliable cell decisions, and robust and tunable biological oscillations. These findings suggest an intriguing hypothesis. Despite the apparent complexity of cellular networks, there might only be a limited number of network topologies that are capable of robustly executing any particular biological function. Some topologies may be more favorable because of fewer parameter constraints. Other topologies may be incompatible with a particular function. Although precise implementation could differ dramatically in different biological systems, depending on biochemical details and evolutionary history, the same core set of network topologies might underlie function-related cellular behaviors. This part isn't like the part that I'm confused on, so I'm kind of speeding through it. I should probably just not read it out loud because that's going to take even longer. Chemistry, Naman. I don't plan to study that one either. So yeah, the kind of thing this paper did is they looked at the most basic node networks that can achieve adaptation. In 3 nodes is like the hard minimum. If you only have 2 nodes, they can't really adapt. Well, this is like an academic paper, Naman. If we pulled one up in chemistry, it'd be equally as intimidating looking. There are a total of 16,000 possible 3-node. See, I was wondering where they get this number from. 3-node topologies that contain at least one direct or indirect causal link from the input node to the output node. Is that in the supplemental information? If I control F, 16, comma, or 16, no? It's probably not them. 55 pages of supplemental information, by the way, geez. Then for each of those 16,000 topologies, we sampled 10,000 sets of parameters and characterize the resulting behavior in terms of the circuit sensitivity to input change and its ability to adapt. We have analyzed a total of 1.6 times 10 to the 8 different circuits. 10 to the 8. That's 100 million. So 160 million. I play background music on the Twitch stream, Naman. I don't do it on YouTube because YouTube is way more strict about copyright. Even with lo-fi, you have to go through some trouble to like make sure you're giving them credit and stuff like that, or sometimes you have to like connect your YouTube channel and actually like register. And I prefer just having the freedom to play whatever music I want. Lo-fi just kind of sounds the same after a while. So the thing I really want to learn today is what role the third node plays. Wait, you tried it twice in a row? That's not going to help. Oh, I missed this when I was first reading this paper. They actually explain what this what the diagrams mean. It was totally 43. That's right, yeah. Yeah. Basil and not the leaf. Non-regulated? Hmm. No, it's been I set that up like sometime last year. The number has not changed. The number will only ever change once someone guesses it. And no one has guessed it yet. So you could keep track. Yeah, so that's why it was a waste of points to do it twice in a row. You bet it's 43. Yeah. So you could in theory like write down your guesses and other people's guesses and improve your odds of guessing the right one. People haven't really been messing with it much though, so there isn't much data to collect. So Michaelis-Menten constants, KMs, and catalytic rate constants. Catalytic rate constant. Catalytic rate constant. They don't really explain it much that I can see. KCAT. Oh wait, maybe this is it. Is okay. Here we go. Here we go. Limiting number of substrate molecules converted to product per enzyme molecule per unit of time. Limiting number of substrate molecules. Substrate is like the food or like energy. Converted to product per enzyme molecule per. Okay. Let's go. Gambling usually does the trick. What's this? Wow, this is like a paint animation. Okay. um, do they go into like systems? Of these equations? I guess not. So this page, like this Wikipedia page, is really just about a single uh enzyme. And in our paper, we have 3 different enzymes, each with their own equation. Absolutely not, Naman. I'm not using Google's AI, and Chrome has been steadily chipping away at ad blockers, so I stopped using it. Sounds good, Kirk. Mathing and mething? Hell yeah. Hope you enjoyed the the rest of your evening, Kirk. I appreciate you hanging out. Implicit R announce our assumptions, enzyme nodes operate. Yep. Non-cooperative, Hill coefficient 1. Does Wikipedia not go into the Hill coefficient here? Wow, they don't. Thorium or Zen? I've never heard of those. Oh, this is what we really want. Or that's what I want. So yeah, this n is called the Hill coefficient. And notice how it's an exponent and not a coefficient. I think it's a really weird name. Maybe once you solve it, it becomes a coefficient. Once you solve the differential equation. Theta is the fraction of receptor protein concentration that is bound by the ligand. Ligand these nuts. Oh, interesting. Oh, so the Michaelis-Menten is a case of this. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the exact thing that I was learning about in class. As a differential equation. I really shouldn't be spending time on reading all this intro stuff. So this, I think this is where it starts to maybe get interesting. So they find two types of circuits that can achieve adaptation: negative feedback loop with a buffering node, and incoherent feed-forward loop with a proportioner node. Everything teach you in physical can, but with biology and it, how's this easier? I mean, I'm just coming at this from the math angle, so like I just see like this differential equation is really not that bad. The concepts of this, I really have I've received a bare basic crash course on some of this for the biology and chemistry stuff that's happening here. I'm pretty ignorant of all this, so. So they define adaptation as sensitivity more than 1 and precision more than 10. The sensitivity is how big this spike is, and then the precision is once it levels out, how, like, what is the distance from the new status quo compared to the old status quo. None of the 2-link 3-node networks are capable of adaptation. 2-link 3 nodes. So basically, if you connected them in a line, that is never working. So you need at least 3 links. Simplest topology is capable of adaptation under at least some parameter sets are 11 3-node, 3-link networks. These network architectures are listed in figure 2 along with examples of the distribution. Okay, so let's go look at those. Figure 2 is right here. So these are the 11 things they found. Oh wait, no. Some of these are non-examples. So like these first 3 are good examples for negative feedback loops. The second 3 are not examples of what we want. And the difference is like we want this box in the upper right for each plus to have color in them that represents the probability of successfully adapting. And so these ones all have at least some probability. What is that color? It's probably around 10 to the minus 3 or 10 to the minus 4. Still not a very high chance, but some chance of adapting. Looks like these ones are in a lot better situation. If you redid your paper's analyses, would you correct the values if the differences are only less than 0.2 and you are only reporting 1 decimal place? It depends on the context, I guess. How much precision do you need? Oh yeah, I've heard of physical chemistry. I don't really know what all goes into it, but like I've heard of it. The differences are statistically insignificant. It's probably not a big deal then. Why am I blurry? There we go. Nothing would change in the narrative. Well then, so what, like, why do you want, like, what's wrong about it that makes you want to correct it? I'm Japanese. I think it'd be a second to figure out what the joke was. Yeah, this is a little bit too hot to handle if this was being streamed in Japan. Wait, what was I reading? Yeah, okay, I was here. Where was the number 11? Yeah, here we go. It's because I'm too lazy to change the numbers. I mean, if it's what you got and it gets the right statistical result already, I don't understand what's wrong about it, I guess. Do you know what the answer is supposed to be? Maybe? And you're just like slightly off? Hey, Dora. I'm just doing a lot of crazy shit the last few months. This is a math biology paper. It's about like biological networks, basically. Which is a vague term, but I for my math biology class, we have to do a group project where we replicate the results of an academic paper and then extend them in some way. Cells have Wi-Fi now? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, Negative feedback loop as a topology whose links starting with a node from any node in the loop lead back to the original node, with a cumulative sign of regulatory links within the loop being negative. Okay, let's look back at an example. This doesn't seem right. Negative feedback loops. What? Starting from any node in the loop, lead back to the original node with the cumulative sign of regulatory links within the loop being negative. That does not seem true for this one. If I start from B, go to C, I pick up a negative sign, then I go back and I get a positive and it's 0. If I start at A, I just can't get back. Like, this is the only one that actually seems to fit their definition of negative feedback loop. B to C, C to B, A to C. Huh. A to B is plus, B to A is minus, A to C is plus or minus. Yeah, I don't get it. This definition does not seem to be true for the examples that they show, or only for it only seems to be true for one of them. It's about time those powerhouses and cells begun industrialization. True. It's the first empirical analysis of this scale. I am not planning to publish it. My mind is telling me to fix it, but my brain is also lazy. Oh, that sounds important. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say whether you should like fix it or not. Negative feedback loop is just about regulating the number of production. Doesn't necessarily have to be two directional. I guess it just, their definition seems weird. What about incoherent feed-forward loop? Two different links starting from the input receiving node. Both end at the output transmitting node, with the cumulative sign of the two pathways having different signs. Okay. This seems true, then. This one on the right, I feel like the path like A, B, C, like there's a plus and a minus, so is it just 0? I don't quite get that, but the one on the right is definitely positive, so. What are the career prospects for mathematicians other than being a professor? I don't know. I couldn't get a job with my math degree, so. Like math is like really general is kind of the issue with majoring in math. You can kind of do everything, but also nothing. Unless you go into finance, that's true. Those definitions treat them as non-trivial. Like data analysis is a pretty natural place for a mathematician to go. And that's a big thing that always needs people, but it's kind of hard to say, Naman. Like I haven't really figured out the answer to that question. Incoherent feed-forward loops are more robust than negative feedback loops. Yeah, that makes sense. These squares here are darker, or like they're closer to red on the scale than these squares here. Work in think tanks and be an econometrician. Like a doctor for the economy. But yeah, I mean that's possible too. I remember there was one dude, uh, I think in my undergrad class, or like who was also studying math, whose his career goal was to be in a think tank, and that always like seemed weird to me. I feel like a think tank is where you end up, not the place where you usually try to be. I think a lot of professors are not chilling. Naman, it's a pretty stressful life from like what I've heard, because you have to constantly publish unless you're at a university that cares more about like the teaching part. It is not surprising that positive feedback loops cannot achieve adaptation. I mean, that's not surprising for me, but okay. The output node must not directly feedback to the input node. Rather, the feedback must go through an intermediate node, B, which serves as a buffer. The importance of the buffering node will be discussed in detail later. That's what I want to go into. Interesting. Node B to serve as a proportioner for node A. Node B is activated in proportion to the activation of node A and to exert opposing regulation on node C. Interesting. I've been thinking if I actually qualify, but all the think tanks I want to be in all require a PhD at minimum. That makes sense. I don't know anything about think tanks really. I feel like they'd be pretty freaking elitist though. Are mathematicians inherently interested in math? Yeah. It's not, I didn't say it's not difficult. I said it'll be more of a natural state for mathematicians to do what they do best, but also be stable. I mean, it's always stable, but there's a lot of expectations that are put on you if you're going to be a professor. So negative feedback loop with a buffer node. So 3A. So they're going to analyze this one here where the buffering node is attached to C. Association has come to administrative work instead of actually doing research or teaching. That too, yeah. Okay, so let's figure out where these differential equations come from. So the concentration of A's enzyme is increased by this first bit here. Black Math X, thank you for the follow. I guess is the input of whatever A needs. Ki is that catalytic converter constant, whatever. Now the FA, and so this second term is reducing A in some way. What is, like, okay, FA is the concentration of basal enzymes that carry out the reverse reactions on nodes A and B. Okay. So A is being reduced by something we're not like exactly accounting for in the model. This represents maybe like a simplifying assumption where like we don't want to consider heavily whatever is affecting A outside of the network, but we do need to pay some attention to it, I guess, and that's what this is. But otherwise this equation looks basically the same as this one over here. Better than being a freelancer? Probably. And then, so B is increased by the amount of C, because C has a positive connection to B. So the concentration of C times some interaction parameter between from C onto B. And then this is just the kinetics of B, I guess. And then B also has some outside input affecting it. They don't draw it on this. Interesting. But this looks the same as the thing above. Now C is positively affected by A and negatively affected by B. And so why is this is prime? Probably because to differentiate it from this, but it's already differentiated because one is CB, the other is BC. The primes are kind of interesting. Node A simply functions as a passive relay of the input to node C. This will go to work in the same way if the input were directly acting on node C. Well, that's an interesting claim because they say that A is necessary in some way, though. As a parameter sets that enable this topology to adapt indicates that the two constants KCB and K prime FBB Michaelis-Menten constants for activation of B by C and inhibition of B by the basal enzyme tend to be small, suggesting that the two enzymes acting on node B must approach saturation to achieve adaptation. Ooh. The parameter... So this constant and this constant need to be small. The two enzymes acting on node B, which are C and FB, must approach saturation to achieve adaptation. I don't know why that should be the case. In the case of saturation, this topology can achieve perfect adaptation. Under saturation conditions, 1 minus B is much greater than KCB. B can be approximated by the following. 1 minus b. Okay, yeah, to cancel that out. And b is much... Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, okay. I understand why that will be... Those will be the saturation conditions. The rate equation for b can be approximated by the following. The steady state solution. So these are constants, I think. And then c is the only variable. C star. Huh. Okay. Independent of the input level I. Equation 2 can be written as... Sure. Oh, integrating. Yeah, sure. What does this mean? Oh, this is the loop. Node C. Is node C inactivating node B? I thought it was the opposite. Huh. Implements integral control. A common mechanism for prioritization in engineering. All minimal NFBLB topologies use the same integral control mechanism for perfect adaptation. Huh. (3a). Guess 3a is down the line here. The null clines for nodes B and C are shown for different input values. Ooh, there's a relationship between these two graphs? That's kind of sick. I don't know how to figure that out, though. Why are we crossing over null clines? Do I not know what a null cline is? Maybe I don't. Is this an example of an initial condition, maybe? I1, I2. Huh. Ooh, we get some oscillations with this one. I don't quite know how to figure out why those changes should happen. Only the C null cline depends explicitly on the input through A. The B null cline does not depend on A. Steady state of the system is given by the intersection of the B and C null clines. Sure. Thus, this change in steady state for an input change is only determined by the movement of the input-dependent C null cline. Huh. They're making a lot of claims here that I can't independently figure out for myself. I believe them, but they don't really make sense to me right now. Man, I'm getting tired just reading this. The words are starting to like not make sense. I think I need to not look at this for a little bit. But if I don't look at this, then like the only other thing that I wanted to work on was that stupid Fourier transform question. Hmm. Can I actually? Okay, well, let's start yet another round of work here. Maybe I can make Jordan's lemma work. So I'm just going to say the second integral here is 0 because of principal value. This one, Jordan's lemma applies. We have a negative exponent, so we need the contour in the lower half plane. What does the residue calculation get us? Negative integral C. Is equal to negative 2 pi I. The residue of that at 0. Is that just 1? So that means if we plug it in up here, we would get 1. No, we wouldn't. Let's do this U sub. So u over 2, 1/2 du. Oh, that's so annoying. Why do these cancel? All my hopes and dreams are pinned on that. Uh, um, I should even have an A in there, but the A would also cancel. Hmm. I should have written it like that as well. One. How annoying. One is the loneliest number. I'm sorry if my mic is picking up some background noise. People are just stomping outside and putting stuff in the dumpster and just letting the door slam. Am I forgetting something? I am. I've made this mistake so many times. The singularity is on the path of integration, so it's only half a residue. Oh my god! I did it. Oh my god! Delete that. Delete that. Dude, I made a mistake so much, dude. I that's gonna burn me. Ugh. I would have been. I really tried this exact idea earlier, and I just forgot that the singularity is on the path of integration, not contained in it. I wasted a bunch of time just staring at this problem. Thinking that I did it wrong, and I only did it slightly wrong. Okay, let's just repeat the same thing for negative A. Pog. That's honestly that I just feel frustrated after figuring this out. This isn't a good feeling right now. Okay, so I'm taking that t right there and making it negative a. So this becomes positive I lambda a. So that's a positive one. That's minus 2I lambda a. checks out. D lambda. All right. I over 2 pi. I really hope that I included principal values in my work already, because I really don't want to back up and have to include them from the beginning. All right, same argument. That thing goes to 0. This thing, we're going to use the flipped version of that contour in the upper half plane. That negative comes from there. 2 pi I times... No. Just pi I. Don't make the same mistake again. The residue is still 1. Okay. Good. Fucking hell. Okay. Overleaf. Show yourself. I need to sign in? Why does it keep signing me out? Okay. What have we written so far for this question? Oh, good. I see some PVs in here. Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay, good. So we can pick it up from this step here. Is there an easy way to just jump to the LaTeX? No. All this here is figuring out the different cases for T and A not equal to each other. Tapple, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Okay, so we're gonna delete this. Well, we don't have to. The only thing that remains is to examine the two cases t equals plus or minus a. Backing up to the inverse Fourier transform. I'm going to copy paste that, the step that we're actually going to start from. And actually, this is not an accurate statement. We will now use an inverse Fourier transform and chop that off, because we're not actually getting the original function back. We're getting something slightly different. And I think that's the point of this problem. Okay. Starting with t equals a. Copy this, paste that. F of a is equal to PV. This becomes 2a. Wait, what? Yeah, okay, that's fine. 2. It was kind of funny. For a second, I had 2 A's on that lambda and it was freaking out. And it makes me think of like, oh, this is this is a stupid thought that I should be saying out loud. But like, it's like, what does a Greek sheep say? Lambda. Okay, it's my stupid thought for the day. Probably more like for the minute. That becomes 1. I really don't want to bother having to justify the second integral that much. I kind of just want to say it's an odd function integrated over its domain. And we're taking the principal value, so we know it's 0. I'm debating if that would fly. I think it would. I feel like it would. The second integral becomes 0 because it is the principal value of an odd function integrated over its domain. For the first integral, let C be the closed semicircle. We want the lower half plane? Yeah. By Jordan's lemma, the arc of this semicircle, the integral on the arc of this semicircle goes to 0, so we can apply the modified residue theorem to obtain... Hey Lucas, how's it going? I don't know why I copy pasted that entire thing. Slash right minus 2 pi I times 1. No, just pi I. I need to rephrase the work before this a bit too, I just realized. Hey, Aikido. Slash frac 1, 2. Okay, that's the answer that we need. But be the closed semicircle in the lower half plane with a small gap centered at lambda to avoid the singularity. I need to add that bit in. Apply the modified residue theorem. Residue at lambda equals 0 is 1. I'm not going to show the work for that. I hope that's okay. I think I'm torturing the TA enough with the amount of work that I'm showing. In the amount of words that I'm writing. I now have an upgraded educational guess on why I was busy with trying to make new maths. It's probably because of the lack of new material I have in the field of maths. I mean, sure, I can learn what Taylor series are, but first of all, I can talk about it with anyone. You can't talk about it with anyone because no one will understand. And secondly, I don't really have a book in which I can easily learn. And thirdly, I have no type of friends to share this with, which takes me to trying to make new math. That's fair. There's a certain like loneliness in liking math, I feel like, because most people just shut down when you try to talk about math. I still make a point not to bring up math if I'm not actively doing a math stream, because people just, more so than like even like physics or something like that, that's still difficult, but people still find it interesting. Like people just do not want to talk about math. T equals minus a. So now the first integral is going to be just a 1 there. The second integral will be 2I lambda a. Okay. Should we solve 2x plus 1 equals 0? Oh no. Yeah, I think that's a thing that'll be easier to deal with once you get to university, at least. So you have that to look forward to. Because like once you do get to university, you'll be able to like make friends with people in your same major, and they'll hopefully be interested in math if they're majoring in it. Ooh, thanks for the streak. 5 is almost like 6. That's true. It is almost like 6. The first integral goes to 0 for the same reason as previously. For the second integral, C will now be the... Oh, you know, I should put one more step in the last thing. Here, f of a. I should actually show the contour integral step. C, stop. No, just don't highlight the whole line. Okay, fine. You win. Highlight the whole line if you really insist on it. Z. Z. Oh wait, should I make it? I should make it Z equals 0, not lambda equals 0. There we go. I like this more. Does that look good once it's rendered? Is that too long for the paper? No, that's not too long. Honestly, I would like to introduce a new math where you can calculate properly with infinity. So I'm going to say stuff like the opposite of 0 plus infinity is infinity. I treat it like a normal number. Oh, okay. Like that sort of comes up in like analysis and measure theory, where in some ways you kind of treat infinity like a number. It's not quite like what you're saying though, so you're definitely making something new there. it'd be interesting if you can make that work. It is kind of funny where with the stuff that I'm doing right now with complex analysis, we sometimes get integrals. Let me find it. Here we go. Sometimes we deal with numbers like some constant c plus I times infinity. This is really just sloppy notation. Like they're taking a shortcut here. So like this infinity isn't truly a number, but it is super weird to see like a real number plus imaginary number times infinity. Like yeah, that's what you put reminded me of. C to the x. They should have. So welcome to try to see what properties from reals would say. Yeah, exactly. Had the same discussion about defining division by 0. Oh yeah, I feel like we've Lucas has brought that up too at some point. Oh right, yeah, I remember I've talked to Lucas about like we've made it an imaginary number for the square root of -1. Could we make a new imaginary number for division by 0? It's like you could, but you need to define what that's gonna look like, I guess. It'll be the another with a small gap at z equals 0. It's like one post about it per month. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even... I'm glad I went back and fixed and looked at that, because I made a typo there. Jordan's lemma again. The integral on the arc of this semicircle goes to 0. Since the residue at z equals 0 is 1, we can apply the modified residue theorem to obtain basically the same thing. Going division by 0 is not really interesting. Fair. Wheel theory. I never heard of wheel theory. Oh, do we get minus minus? Did I get that in my work? Oh no. I just forgot what I was doing. God, LaTeX is so hard. I really, the more I use LaTeX, the less I like it. It's so hard to for a human to read it. Okay, let me catch up with chat. You can absolutely use so many parts of the reals that generally not very useful / satisfying to work with. Slim, hello. What kind of LaTeX-tastic adventures am I up to? I'm currently just LaTeXing my homework. I had it nearly done. I just had to figure out this one little bit on this Fourier transform question. It's a little bit hard to fit it on the screen, but find the Fourier transform of this like step function or whatever. I guess it's more like a, yeah, I guess it's like a step function. I don't know. and then invert it. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to handle like the endpoints when equals a, and I finally did. So I'm just LaTeXing up that case right now, and then this homework is done. Oh no, did I get? Okay, no, I was right here. Wait, no, I was right here. Minus PV. Oh, then these, they should be Z's. That should be a Z. That should be a Z. And that should be a Z. Okay. And now it's equal to the fraction out front slash left slash right pi I minus pi I times the residue, which is 1. And this gets us 1/2 again. Noish. Compile that. See how it looks. So we still have to write the final step here. We gotta bring this all together. Combining the results for t equals plus or minus a with the previous result, we obtain the final answer, or the final, I guess, inverse transform. Inverse Fourier transform. Combining. Look at this typo I made for combining. Combining. Let's talk about it on chat. Wait, yeah, what I said about treating infinity is basically how I do treat infinity. I treat infinity as one single number. I just haven't explored my mind further. I see infinity as the same as 0. That's actually not a bad idea. You start counting from infinity as a new number. Infinity plus 1 would just be adding 1 to infinity. So I mean that infinity changes in its way by counting up. Maybe. I'm not quite following that. I plus 1 is a new number. Adding to I changes a number in subtle ways. Sort of. Hey, Rez. How's it going? You should start a new line for different parentheses to make the LaTeX easier to read and organize so you can compile the same. Oh, really? Because I definitely have had a complaint that, like, white space, like, there's just not enough white space in this. I'm kind of paranoid about adding it because I'm nervous that it would not render the same. But I guess I should actually try that. Because this is a lot more readable to me. It's still not that readable, but it's more readable. Really? Okay. Let's just try it. So this is this line here. Hit recompile. Yeah, okay, it doesn't change. Good to hear, Rez. Yeah. Pretty good so far. I'm just like finishing up this one homework assignment here. Then I've got to get back to reading this frickin' academic paper that was... It's been kind of like tough to like get through it. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of spaces that I could add in here that would help too, I guess. I'm getting a little bit lazy to do it because I've already like written this and it seems to work. I should really be doing that more because it's a pain in the ass to do a lot of this. When the absolute value of t equals a. I Nice. So yeah, the function changes slightly when you transform it and then untransform it. If you want to have all numbers large and small, you may enjoy learning surreal numbers. Ooh. I've heard of those. I forget what they're about. Oh, really? This is an exercise that felt cute, might delete later. Ooh, this looks like that's a cool tree. Totally ordered proper class containing not only the real numbers, but also infinite and infinitesimal numbers. Interesting. This came from research on the Go endgame? Wow. Interesting. How two ex-students turned on to pure mathematics and found total happiness. That's pretty rare. Getting into pure math and finding happiness. So I feel like that's rare. Okay, let's see what Desmond posted. Yeah. It's the real numbers. All right. Suppose F is a mapping of a region omega into the plane Z naught is a member of omega. Z naught has a deleted neighborhood D prime of radius R that is a proper subset of omega, in which f of z is not equal to f of z naught. Okay, so around z naught, the function is not constant. We say f preserves angles at z naught if the limit as r goes to 0, what the hell is this? E to the minus I theta. Okay. If this one exists and is independent of theta. What does this mean? The limit exists. So we're making a circle around z naught. It shouldn't matter what angle we're coming from. If we make that circle very small, I have a hard time interpreting what the limit is actually saying. I don't know. Pure math, pure ecstasy. So real numbers are particular cases of games. The standard reference is called On Games and Numbers by Conway. That Donald Knuth book is also a classic. It is kind of an interesting. So he wants you to prove holomorphic functions are the same as angle-preserving functions. Yeah, Desmond popped into the stream when I was playing DayZ last night, and we were like talking about it. Let f map a region omega into the plane. If f prime of z naught exists at some z naught in omega, and f prime of z naught is not 0, prove f preserves angles at z naught. Conversely, if the differential of f exists and is different from 0 at z naught, and if f preserves angles at z naught, then prove f prime z of naught exists and is different from 0. Oh god. The second part is where I'm lost. Hollow equals angle preserving is tricky, but it's kind of done. So you're asking about the converse piece? I mean, what does it mean to be angle preserving? I don't know the formal definition of that. I guess this conformal map should have what we want, right? I think the observation is that to preserve angle and orientation, you need to be doing a rotation and maybe some stretching. If the derivative exists, it is multiplication by a complex number, which is precisely that. Ooh. Papadoria, hello, hello. How's it going? It's been a minute. Yeah, that's true. E to the phi e to the theta times some stretching constant. Why is if the derivative exists, why is it multiplication by a complex number? Do we want to consider, oops. Like, is the idea going to be something like f prime of z naught plus r e to the I theta is equal to... Oh, that's kind of tricky. I guess r is the only thing that's changing. Like, I wanted to get something like... Oop. I don't know. I want to do some chain rule thing to figure out like what we want to end up with. And then try and get that thing from the preserving angles, but I got kind of confused already. Visiting feel my phone had broken. Oh no. Well, I'm glad your phone is back working. The derivative approximates a function at a point P by a linear function. So in a small neighborhood, if the derivative exists, it is well approximated by multiplying the derivative. Fair? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a Papadoria question. The limit thing normalized is the definition of angle preserving of f. Oh, okay. Oh, duh. Oh my god. I missed this part of this of the problem. Okay, so the thing, okay, so we know that this limit exists and is independent of theta. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I literally asked, what is the definition of preserving angles? And I missed that they literally gave that to us. I thought they were asking us to prove that that limit exists. Um, This is weird. Angle preserving is just algebra. Hopefully that's correct, but the second part requires some analysis. Yeah, no, I'm rereading what Slim wrote. And like that seems like it makes sense. I don't know how to make it into a proof though. The differential of f exists and is different from 0. And it preserves angles at z0. Wait. Uh... Am I misreading this? If the differential of f exists and is different from 0 at z0, then f prime of z0 exists and is different from 0? Isn't that saying the same thing? Isn't that like saying if p then p? Like, is that a typo? Like, should we only be having the second part? Like, we should scratch this out. And this is the thing that that must be it. Imagine you want to preserve the angle at 0. If f is differentiable, then around 0, f of z is approximately f prime 0. Z, where f prime 0 is a complex number, so it is just a rotation. Okay, yeah, and so if I were to make that z0 instead, f of z0 is approximately well, I guess, wait. F of z0 plus re to the I theta is approximately f of z0 plus what was the difference between f prime and df? Maybe Aikido? Yeah, that's what I was trying to like work out with this. Like, I guess re to the I theta f prime z0, like something like that. So you have some type of a of h. H is the extra shift, or a times h. Oh, maybe. This kind of feels like something. Like, if I subtract the f of z naught to the other side, I'm just going to make this equals, because we're letting r go to 0 anyway, so this assumption, like this estimation is only going to become more reasonable. So now if I just want to do anything it takes to be able to use this fact, I guess I would multiply each side by e to the minus I theta and the magnitude. Z naught. And then if I take the limit as r goes to 0, I'm just kind of... I don't really know where this is going to end up. This is some number L, I guess. We don't know that it's not 0. What do we get on the right side? I don't know what I, I don't know what I did. For the converse, you probably just use the Jacobian of f, since as angle preserving, you can show the Jacobian has to be a rotation matrix and maybe some stretching. Using that, you can recover the Cauchy-Riemann equations. Oh. You need angle and orientation preserving for that to work? Oh, I forgot about this, like, derivative thing. I have seen this before. With the AH. I never had to use it, though. Like, I never actually learned about it. Like a normed derivative, it's called, or something. This is what my professor said should be a good warm-up. I'm not sure if it's quite a cool problem. Across all polynomials p such that p of n is an integer for all n's, determine with proof all possible values of p of I, where I is -1. What? Square root of -1. Oh. What a weird problem. That is a pretty classic looking Papadoria problem, though. It's the same thing for any f from Rn to Rm. Yeah, honestly, that train of thought, it sounds like it makes sense to the two of you, Destin and Slim. I'm a little bit out of my depth with that though. It's probably a better idea than whatever I was trying to do up above. Use a lot in your future OD/PD dynamical systems course. Oh, fair enough. Probably need it, yeah. I don't know if I can really do much with this question. Um, it's Destin with your question. Um, yeah, this one feels like it's kind of beyond me. Papadori's question is this one at the bottom of the screen here. I feel like we don't know enough about this polynomial. This definition also works on Banach spaces, so you can have the derivative function on a point, and that point is a function of the Banach. I haven't learned about those. Across all polynomials such that p of n is an integer for all integers n. Do we need to figure out what polynomials that is? Because like certainly a linear function. Well, I guess that just means integer coefficients are guaranteed to have this property, right? I don't know if they must have integer coefficients. I feel like they probably do have to, but that's a little bit hard to figure out. If we should we just like name a cubic and see what I mean. Hmm. Yeah, it's like alternating, but alternating across like four values, right? Banach space is just a vector space of functions with norm. It's complete, which means Cauchy is closed under limits over the same space. Sure. Can write P of i's for two sums. P of n with integer coefficients spit out Gaussian integers when you plug in I. Agreed. A Gaussian integer is like a plus bi, where a and b are integers. Generalization of this exercise is a legendary theorem in Galois theory. Oh, really? Yeah, I remember you two talking about Gaussian integers for your number theory group. Forgot the theorem. Oh, okay. Um, so it does feel like I could engineer any Gaussian integer I wanted, right? Like, is it is there something we couldn't get? Or I guess maybe this is like the simplest. Like, could we get something that's not a Gaussian integer? Could we get something with fractions? Yeah, I guess that's where the question gets hard. um, because like if we did say like 1/2 x cubed, I'm just using cubics as like an example. If these are all like halves, we're it's still not going to work, right? Or could it? Oh wait, no. This cannot be p of n because as soon as you plug in an odd number, you do not get an integer. Like if you plug 3 into that thing, you don't get an integer. So that one can't work. That emote is so good. Wait, are games happening? Is that what's happening here? On Daisy official? Oh my god. Um I want to talk about this question a little more, but I was planning to wrap it up soon anyway. Maybe I can hop on with you guys in like 10 or 15 minutes. Sounds good. Yeah, it is rare to see skirt on Daisy. Sounds good. Oh god. Apparently, Papadoria, this is the generalized version of that. Huh. Okay. I don't understand what that says, but hmm. Part is with their polynomial. I can't think of every algebraic integer can be expressed as the sum of roots of unity. Oh, I guess so. That is kind of crazy. Okay, yeah. In other words, every okay, yeah, yeah. Algebraic integer. What the hell? Okay, it's the root of a polynomial, confusingly. That's why they use root 5 as an example. That is weird. All right, sounds good. Lucas, sleep well. Thanks for hanging out. Loki lurking the entire time. Oh, well, I appreciate it. Um, I I don't know where you really even like. I I'm kind of at a loss with how you do non-integer coefficients. Like I can't think of a single polynomial that would really work. Um, because if they all have the same denominator, you're screwed as soon as you get an integer that's co-prime. If you have different denominators, like how do you even start with it, like thinking about that? Or is that the idea of the proof? Like, is the idea of this you must have integer coefficients? Because if your coefficients are rational, you will always eventually reach an integer that is relatively prime to the denominators of all of the other of all of the coefficients. And that's going to result in a fraction. Does that make sense? Let me type it out. That's my conjecture, I guess. Slim disagrees. You think you can have polynomials with non-integer coefficients that satisfy the condition? That seems very difficult. In Dutch, we always pronounce the letter I as if you say lick, I. Lick, I. Okay. What would we need to do to prove that? Well, like karaoke? Sure. We can do a duet. Is there no music playing, by the way? Oh, there isn't. How long has that been? 2 hours and 50 minutes? I think that only... Wow, okay. I didn't even realize that the music stopped. Let's just play a couple of bangers, because I don't want to stream for much longer anyway. Okay. All p e to the ax for a suitable x will suffice. That's interesting. What do I need to do to prove that? I assume there's some theorem that you're hinting at, Papadoria. To me, I don't know. Ax squared plus bx plus c is an integer for all x, letting x equals 0 shows that c must be an integer. Oh, that's a fantastic point. Ax squared plus bx must also be an integer for all x. X times ax plus b is an integer. Whoa. Okay. That's really clutch if that works out. I mean, ax squared plus bx must also be an integer for all x. Right. X times ax plus b is an integer. And x is fixed as an integer. Okay, yes. So ax plus b either needs to be an integer or have a cancellation. Well, okay, yeah. Well, no, but yeah, the cancellation idea doesn't work. Because, yeah. It won't cancel for all integers. So yeah, Papadoria, with that one, I think as soon as you plug in x equals 3, that runs into trouble. Or, really? 1/2 x squared minus 1/2 x. Oh, that is, oh my god. Wait, 1/2 x squared minus 1/2 x. X equals 3 does work. That's x choose 2? Oh my god. If I plug in 5... Wow, that's annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. Whoa. The deal was if you found one, Slim. But no, we can also just do karaoke. This was just from Spotify radio. I really like the song. It's called Willow by Gamma Low. I forget which radio station it was, but for the stream the last like few months, I've just been doing Spotify radio for songs I like. We can do a love song. I do kind of want to wrap up the stream because I'm getting like mentally tired. I know some. Do you want to do karaoke now, or do you want to like arrange it? Because I'm down for either. Uh, I don't have a good idea for a song right now. Oh, you know what? Okay, sure. As a duet? All right. You know, we can do it now, and that's how we'll maybe end the stream. We're not really done with this question, but I'm just kind of getting like too lazy to think. Huh. So are there other like I guess that's a really clever polynomial. Can you make one with 1/3? I wonder. Like I guess you do 1/3 x minus 1 x minus 2. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, that's fair. That formula makes sense. It did get hard, yeah. uh, I think we're about to have a call with Slim here. Um, oh, maybe this is an easy way to share the video. What is this going to look like? Oh. Nice. Oh, yeah, I do not trust your professor to say that when a problem is easy or hard. Oh, we do. How do we both listen to the same thing? That's a good point, Slim. Maybe we do need to work this out and do it another time. Because that is hard. Share on Discord and video call over Discord. But there's going to be a delay through Discord too, I think. Share my OBS cam on Discord. I would need to like set that up because I don't think my OBS cam is on the right thing. Over Discord, it should be fine. I could just screen share this window though, and that'll work on the audio. I feel like the screen share should make it work. Yeah, Slim. Let's just call him and we can try it. And so, Popodar, I don't think you'll be able to hear the music on YouTube, but you should be able to hear me and Slim at least. Oh wait, am I on push to talk? Let me check before I join. No, I'm not. Okay, good. Hello, hello.
Hi, Don. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Yeah, I'm seeing your screen, so let me see. I think that should work, right?
Hopefully it sends the audio through too. I can play just like a little bit of it and you can test if you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, good.
All right, so now we have to decide which part each one sings. Do you want to sing the boy part or the girl part?
I don't remember. It's all in the actual song. It's just like the one guy who's singing it all. I guess.
Yeah, but
I guess he sings about a boy and a girl.
Yeah, I think not like the part with the girl, a girl sings or a woman sings, and the part with the boy, a man sings. Yeah, you know, I can do the girl.
Okay, yeah. I don't mind either way.
Let's. Okay, I'll do the girl then. I'll try to go as high as possible.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'll start it. Just a small town. Oh, wait, sorry.
Town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
So far, it's easy.
Yeah. Singer in a smoky room.
A smell of wine and cheap perfume.
For a
For a
smile, they
smile,
can
they will
share the night. Goes
share
on
the
and
night.
on.
Going on and on.
Strangers
Strangers
waiting
waiting
up and
up
down the
and down the
boulevard. The shadows
boulevard, their
searching
shadows
in the
searching in
night.
the night. Go you go.
Street lights, people living
Living
just
just
to
to
find
find
emotion.
emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Okay, and we have to
I'm
start
confused whose
together.
part is who now.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. You know,
Okay, yeah,
we can.
we'll just
I think
both.
the next, yeah, let's go the two of us. That's fine.
Working hard
Working
to get
hard
my
to get
fill.
my feel.
Everybody
Everybody
wants a
wants a
thrill.
thrill.
Paying anything to
Paying
roll
anything
the
to roll
dice.
the
Just
dice
one
just
more
one more
time.
time.
Some will
Some
win,
will win,
some will lose.
some will lose.
Some
Some
are
are
born
born
to
to
sing
sing
the
the
blues.
blues.
What
Well, the
the
movie
movie
never
never ends. It
ends.
goes
It goes
on
on
and
and
on and on.
on and on. Strangers
Strangers
waiting
waiting up and
up and down
down
the
the
boulevard.
boulevard.
Their shadows
Shadows searching
searching
in the
in the
night.
night. Street
Street
lights,
lights, people
people living
living
just to
just to
find
find
emotion,
emotion hidden in
hiding
somewhere
somewhere in the
in the
night.
night. Oh my god. I think there was some delay with the Discord too. Because for me it's
Maybe.
happening a lot sooner, so I'm trying to like delay it.
Oh, I see. I mean, this is the important part. Don't
Don't
stop
stop believing.
believing. Hold
Hold
on
on
to
to
that
that
feeling.
feeling.
Street
Street
lights,
lights, people,
people.
don't stop believing. Just let me off. Hold on. Street
Street
lights,
lights,
people,
people. Okay, now done.
don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Now you.
Street lights, people. Oh, all right. That's
All
actually
right.
pretty good. I mean, I don't know if it was good, but it was funny. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Hopefully it was funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was great. All right. So thank you for letting me join and keep doing the math. I'll talk to you later, Don.
Sounds good. See you, Slim.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Oh my god. All right. That feels like a nice way to end the stream. Oh my god. Yeah, we need to work on the tech there because we're definitely like out of sync. Slim just needs to play Daisy with me. I feel like also we should give a little shout out to Slim for that beautiful duet. It was throwing me off that it was just the ukulele. Please do Soda Pop. Oh my god, no. All right. That's it. Let's cut the YouTube stream off here, and then we'll look for a raid, and then I'm gonna go play Daisy